he's not Be'iman. If anybody called you Be'iman, you would say, I'm not Be'iman. Similarly, I'm not in favor of religion, but I don't want to call myself a dharmic. I believe I'm a dharmic person. And being a dharmic person doesn't require a belief in God. The Buddhists don't believe in God. You know, so that's where the word Buddh Parasti comes from, because when the iconoclasts came, by the way, iconoclasm is also Buddh Parasti, you know, it's the opposite. So what I'm trying to say is, let's not get trapped in words. A dharmic society is a moral society. Even the Charavakas were moral. And certainly Buddhists who don't believe in a creator, you know, or a god, they believe in dharma, they believe in the Panchashila, for example, like the yamas and niyamas in the Yoga Sutras. And in fact, many religious systems have some system of ethics. Okay, so coming back to your point, we are not a religious people. We are a dharmic society, but I want to throw in another word, which is also a bit of a complicated word. We are also a spiritual people. What does that mean? That's where Javed Saab and I will disagree. We are not materialistic. You know, if you look at all the different traditions in India, very few were purely materialistic. Everyone felt that consciousness is not just, you know, the same as the organ of a body like the brain. And now, this is where you come to a bigger issue, which is, this is a triangle, you see. We are talking about a triangle. There is religion, there is science, and then there is spirituality. And today, science and religion are coming together because of this domain of consciousness. Because in consciousness studies, all over the world, there are things that they don't fit into the materialistic paradigm of science. And when you come to the quantum level, when you come to the quantum or the particle level, then the Newtonian world of solid science evaporates. You know, because at the particular level, you cannot know whether there is an object, where that object is. Is it a particle? Is it a wave? Is it energy? And actually we cannot determine the boundaries between us, because the molecules are passing, you know, throughout this carpet, this table, this chair, this mic. So things start getting to be like the dance of Shiva, in a sense, shimmering, you know, and the whole world, you, me, individuality, matter, all of these things now start getting more and more flimsy. Yeah.
Makaran, I'm going to interject here, only because you've opened up so many areas of inquiry. You know, I'm going to come to this issue. Sorry, I didn't realize there's so much echo. Can you hear me? I'm going to come to this issue of what Makaran just brought up about the spiritual realm and new advanced quantum physics, you know, the realm of consciousness, and where science and consciousness or spirituality are beginning to resonate. That's a whole other area. But before that, you made this distinction between the dharmic civilizations or traditions and religions which are a covenant with one God. So then, are you making a distinction and a hierarchical distinction in your mind, or at least for you, between dharma, so say Hinduism, and are you putting Abrahamic or Semitic religions like say Christianity or Islam at a lower level in your scheme of things?
No, I don't hierarchize, you know, because you see these value judgments are all based on very flimsy prejudices, you know, and your own indoctrination and your own conditioning. But here's the thing, these monothetic systems, I don't even call them monotheisms, because theos means deity, God. In fact, Deva and theos are the same word. They mean the shining ones originally, okay? Theos, theos, Deva. But by monothetic, I mean things which believe in one book, one doctrine, you know, one ideology. Communism, for example. You know, with due respect, because the progressive writers, this is the tradition we have, from Sajjad Zahir, you know, who used to hang out at Nanking restaurant with Mulkraj Anand, and places like here, where Khwaja Ahmad Abbas and others really influenced the, you know, Hindi film industry. I mean, they lost the battle for Pakistan, but they won the battle for Bollywood. But listen, the point is, these systems have created havoc in the world. You know, the amount of deaths that have come out of these systems, like China. Frank Decotta has written 5 books on China. Please look at them. Great Leap Forward, Cultural Revolution, the famines, you know, the gulags of the Soviet Union. And of course, the Abrahamic faiths, the destruction of the pagan world, Catherine Nixie's book, all the depredations, the devastations of so many civilizations, you see. The monotheistic way, you know, which is not the Indian way. In India, we have pluralism, okay? So, pluralism means, see, the Jains have anekantavad, syadvad, okay? In the Vedas, you say, ekam satvipra bahuda vadanti. So, pluralism means, that's the basis of modern liberalism, which means you can believe something, you can believe something else, you can believe, and there's space for everyone, okay? But the moment you say, my truth is the only truth, that's where I'm afraid I'll have to resist any such ideology which wants to negate the pluralism, you know, of society and of civilization.
Thank you, Makran. As I said, you know, why I'm trying to rein you in is because if you open it up to spirituality, quantum physics, communism, all of that, we are barely going to be able to discuss the issue at hand, which is purely the idea of religion or dharma, civilizational issues. And I'm going to by and large restrict it to India because otherwise the canvas gets too large, you know. But Javed Saab, let me ask you the question that Makran has raised. Do you make a distinction? Would you place a little more, you know, interest in the dharmic way of thinking or the plural way of thinking that he's brought up? And do you think there's any distinction between the Semitic religions and the dharmic traditions? Or are you equally scathing of both, and why?
When a friend started giving me compliments about my films and my success, it reminded me of Shakespeare's line, "It is time to fear when tyrants kiss."
It's time to fear when tyrants kiss.
You see, these are all semantics. And I can, without asking you, I can tell you, because I include myself, that whatever he has said, almost 75% we have not understood.
We have not?
We have not understood.
Sorry, Javed Saab, not here. We have not?
We have not understood whatever he has said. Out of that, 75%.
Not understood.
Because only semantics. These are words. Ultimately, you say that this is, all of you are the same. It's saying, and if you don't believe it, go and ask a Dalit. This is dharma. What kind of a dharma is that? Where for thousands of years, crores of people were made untouchable. This is variety, this is tolerance. You tolerate who? You tolerate Nadir Shah or Temur? Did you tolerate the Dalit in your village? No, you did not. Even today, every day it happens. So don't give me this dharma story. These are words. You go to temples, you are very bothered about those temples that you have lost. I wish you luck, you may get all of them. Because it doesn't concern me. I am neither interested in temples, nor in mosques, nor neither in church. Don't feel superior because you don't believe in one God, you believe in many. In my eyes, both are equally wrong. Ultimately, you worship a deity, you have certain rituals because they are mantras that you read. Everything you do, that religion does. And you, when you fill a form and you made your passport, there was a column, religion. What did you write? None. You wrote Hinduism, didn't you? So let us not hide behind these so many, a fog of big words. Let's be realistic. For me, whether you believe in one God or 30 crores, it doesn't make any difference to me as long as you believe. You have beliefs and that makes you irrational. Irrational. What is the difference between us and the rest of the creatures? Rest of body is almost the same. A heart, a kidney, a liver, a stomach is like any other ape. The only thing that makes us different is mind, brain, logic. And where does it live? In the brain. Achha, now when we say brain, people think we are talking of only conscious mind. No, conscious mind in any of us is like a drawing room, or maybe drawing room come office of a huge house. We have many chambers, we have basements, we have attics and so on and so forth, empty rooms where everything is safe, where the work is going on. I'll give you an example. Conscious mind is not the only thing. I never said that. When you say inspiration or it came from somewhere else, it doesn't come from anywhere else. It is your mind. If it comes from somewhere else, it should come in Greek, Chinese, Hebrew, but it comes only in the language that you know. You have lost a key and you are looking for it and you are trying to remember, where did I put my key? And you can't remember it. And then you are talking to somebody else, discussing dharma, maybe. And suddenly you remember, oh, I put the key there. How? Because a part of your brain is working, not only on the key, about any issue, about everything. It keeps working. So whatever you say, inspiration, and it certainly came to me, it all comes from your brain. Now, as far as spiritualism is concerned, I accept some people are believers, some people are not believers. What is this spiritualism? It is like being slightly pregnant.
Slightly?
Pregnant.
Slightly pregnant.
So either you are pregnant or not. Come on, tell me. Now, the fact is that if my information is right, the same gentleman says that the law that was made in 91, that now there will be a status quo maintained of the religious places except for Ayodhya. He believes that it should be removed. I have no problem with that. I don't care. But the fact remains that he is emotionally attached to temples. And he is giving us this philosophy and he is waxing eloquent about some other world. But ultimately, you are saying what any RSS person would say.
Makran, you've been wanting to intervene. Start with the Dalit.
I want to respond because you said you're not talking about specific religions, and then you started attacking one.
Dharma or of Hinduism, because you made a distinction between the dharmic traditions and the
You don't have to
monotheistic.
defend him.
No, I'm only.
Please, let me respond. Show
Makran,
my...
one second. Not in defense. Hold on. Guys, no, because this is how public discourse gets hijacked. I am not defending him as a moderator. It's my duty to bring the facts back on the table. This is how the distinction began. He started speaking of the dharmic religion because he made a distinction between...
Yeah,
that's it, Javed
sorry,
sir.
but I haven't said that.
Javed sir,
There should have been a Muslim sitting here. I don't think in this whole country anybody has criticized mullahs or their religion more than me.
Yeah. Okay. Come back.
See, first of all, when Javed Saab says they're all the same, this is the most dangerous kind of thinking. Because you're unable to make a distinction, which is fundamental. For example, you can easily say what happened to the untouchables, but the point is, there was no such word. There was no such word like Dalit, if you look at the ancient times. So you can't make this a trans-historical phenomenon. But let me ask you this.
There were Shudras and Brahmins.
Again, you're interrupting. My point is that the trouble with the progressives is that if you look at, from the time of Chauth Ka Joda, which is a beautiful story by Smat Chugtai, please read it. It's better than Lihaf in a fundamental sense. You see, you criticize a particular system socially, but never theologically. Whereas if you look at what's happening in Iran, you need to criticize it theologically, because the moment you make a distinction between a believer and a non-believer, okay, between a mu'min and a kafir, and the latter has no rights, They can be killed, you have to pay jizya, they can be enslaved, you know, they can be sold. It's called ganimat. You conquer a territory, they become loot. So please, these are completely different systems, so you can't put them all together. Secondly, he says they're all the same, you believe in one God or 1,000 gods. I already told him that people who don't believe in any God, you want to transform yourself. For example, if you're doing yoga, you don't need to believe in God. Some people believe in Ishwar, some people don't. And then, the last point, a more humorous point, he said you can either be pregnant or not. There's no such thing as slightly pregnant. I beg to disagree. You see, just before you take the pregnancy test, you don't know whether you are pregnant or you're not pregnant. Then when you take the test, you just realize, oh gosh, I'm pregnant, wow. Some people are happy, some people are not so happy, whatever the case may be. And then the baby grows. So there's a very slight pregnancy, there's only a zygote, there's only one cell, please. Then it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally the baby comes out. So this is the binary thinking which we oppose. You know, it's either this or that. No, it can be this and that and something in between. And he's absolutely right about one thing. Consciousness is very complex. He's right, because even the cells of consciousness, okay, even this table, even this carpet is conscious. It's not able to articulate it. If consciousness, because it all depends on how you define it. If you think that anything that can speak is conscious, then a dog can't speak. Does it mean a dog is not conscious? It is. It's a sentient being, etc., etc. So science is actually showing, even Jagdish Chandra Bose showed that plants feel. Okay, if you cut a plant, it feels pain. Even animals, even metals can be stressed. There are stress tests which show that metals also break after a certain stress. So we have to open our minds and not be prejudiced. With due respect, Javed Sahib, and please don't brand people. You're RSS, you're attached to Ayodhya. I mean, what kind of logic is this? You know, इसको कहते हैं आक्षेप डालना, किसी पे आरोप लगाना, सबूत के बगैर, okay? But what I'm trying to say is that consciousness is the key where these differences are now coming onto a common platform. You know,
I just wanted to say here that, you know, again, like I'm saying, I'm struggling to keep all the threads that are opening up. When Makarand is talking about consciousness and quantum physics, and Javed Sahib is laughing at it by saying, oh, these are complicated words, and so that again I would say is not fair, because not knowing about something and not going deep into a topic is not a good reason to laugh at it. Because when there is, you know, and for instance, when you think about the Vedanta or the Advaita, there are studies in Johns Hopkins and elsewhere where there's a new study called the neurotheology, you know, which is the neuroscientific basis of theology, because science is beginning to explore all this. But these are complicated areas. I'm not going to go into it. I just want to say it's not fair to laugh at it because it's complicated. But I want to come back, Makarand. But when you're saying that it doesn't, just hold on.
I'll just tell you one thing very quickly. Hindutva doesn't tell me whether I should, you know, follow the Yoga Sutras or whether I should follow, for example, Ishavasya Upanishad, or whether I should be a Ram Bhakt or I should be a Krishna Bhakt. It doesn't interfere in my private faith. What it does is, it's trying to create a community, okay, of voters, you know, among other things. And I'll tell you, there's no one brand of Hindutva. So when we say Hindutva, who's Hindutva? Savarkar's Hindutva or Modi's Hindutva? They're also different, because as we were talking on the telephone, you see, there is one thing which is the politics of getting votes. Okay, and there's another thing called governance. Do you think that people vote for a particular party just because of one thing?
So, Makarand, just hold. No, I'm not going to get dragged into Congress, BJP politics because I'm not interested, and that's not what the topic is. I'm questioning you on this. Just
I
very
won't dodge.
point
I'll tell
blank.
you. I
Point
won't
blank.
dodge. I won't dodge. Just give me a second. I won't dodge. If Hinduism loses its essence and becomes an imitation of a Semitic and a dogmatic and a monistic, not monistic, but a monothetic type of practice just to defend itself, it would be a loss. So, if it loses its pluralism, if it loses its openness, if it loses its capacity for reinventing itself, for rationalism, for critical thinking, if it stops being of a tradition full of different practices and technologies of transformation and becomes ideologized, it would be a loss.
You know, sadly, Makran, we started late, but the organizers are saying that we need to open this up for questions. I actually feel we haven't even begun to discuss this topic. What do you guys feel? Should we talk to them more or open this up? Can I just know what you say? Sorry? Talk to them more? Okay, so then I won't take Q&A and I'll use up the Q&A time to talk more. Is that fine with everyone? Okay. Okay, let me, because we haven't explored this at all. Makran, when you said this, you said, okay, if Hinduism were to, or Dharmic was to lose its essence, it would be a loss. So you're accepting. I'm going to ask you two pointed questions, quick answers, and then we'll move to Javed sir. Is that... No. I'm okay. I'm going to leave two questions for you to mull on and then come to him. When you're saying this, okay. So Makran, then let me ask you a pointed question. We've already said that you are opposed to the mobilization through religion of the Semitic religions because they form.
I didn't say that.
Or they form communities, which
I didn't say that. I'm saying identity politics is identity politics. Okay, whether it is Dalitization, or negative Ambedkarism type of politics, divisive of society, whether it's a Ram Mandir politics, whether it's Majlis-e-Ittihadul Muslimin type of politics, you know, which is based on Muslim mobilization, victim narratives, whatever. Identity politics is identity politics. Why do you say one kind of identity politics is good and another kind is bad?
I personally am opposed to both. I'm merely asking if you're also opposed to both.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying that's how democratic politics works. By the way, when you read Plato's Republic, and it's not just words, okay? These are very important books to read. Please read it. He doesn't like democracy because democracy, he thinks, is going to become mobocracy. So these are very, as we evolve, as human societies evolve, we are still looking for a perfect political system. And all over the world, we are going through a crisis of democracy. Look at the US.
You know, that's a session I'm doing with Shashi Tharoor on democracy. That's not going to Javed Saab, so, you know, just for a moment, I'm not going to pull you further down that Hindutva, Muslim, etc. road. I want to ask you another question, which is that, you know, so far we're going into the classic route of is Hindutva good, is Muslims bad, etc., etc. I don't want to go there. Let's look at the fact that the 87% of this country sees itself as religious in one way or the other. They value it. It seems to have some value in their life. We know the perversion, the mutilation of it, the lynchings, the beheadings, the, you know, all the hate speech, etc. that's happening in the name of religion. No one in their right mind, whether for political mobilization or not, could support that. I want to ask you a more interesting question, which is there any use in your mind for religion as a tool of culture, of opening the imagination, of help, of succor? Where people are in trouble, they turn to it. In a way, it's a very calming influence in society. People who seek spirituality, you know, in whatever path they do, as a tool of creating calm in society. Do you think it's important? Because science can create as much harm as religion has. When you look at the atomic bomb, or you look at social media or algorithms, you know, science is not agnostic. It's not inherently good. It can be used for good or bad. So similarly, can religion be good and bad?
I think there are some explanation or information I owe it to him. One, the people are talking of hijab and parda today. Since last 30 years, I have been on record. I have had debates on TV with big mullahs from Lucknow and Delhi and so on, against Parda, against hijab, against triple talaq. We have made in 20 years, we went to all the cities where there are big pockets of Muslim population and we spoke against Muslim personal law there. So it is so very easy, I'll show you my phone, you'll be very happy that both dharmic people and religious people, both of them abuse me. So as long as I'm getting abused, this is from both the sides, I'm a very happy person. I'll be worried if one side stops abusing me. Ultimately, you see, the fact is that use any word. Words change their meaning. Cool today, you are young people, you know. What cools mean today did not mean, say, 100 years back. Or hot means today did not mean 50 years back. Or gay means today did not mean 70 years back. Words change their meaning. Now religion, the origin of religion, what is the meaning of the word? You can discuss that. And you can prove that my belief doesn't come under this word. But the fact is that you have all the good points and bad points of any religion. To me, one religion is not better than another. Some of them maybe have become more fanatic, like Islam all over the world. That also have many political reasons also. Why it has happened in 30, 40, 50 years? They have to be political reasons. Like people in India, people who are Hindus, have become more stringent than what they were some 40 years back. There are some political reasons of that. We can, first of all, it is very difficult to draw a line between religion and communalism, religion and fascistic attitudes, because they overlap each other. I had made a picture, since he had mentioned my picture, in 75. Sholay. There was a scene where Dharmender hides behind Shivji's Murti and he speaks from that place, and Hema Malini is Shivji is talking to her. Is it possible to have a scene like that today? No. I will not write a scene. Were there no Hindus in 1975? There were no dharmic people? They were. As a matter of fact, I'm on record, I'm not saying it right here. You go, and Raju Hirani and me, we were in Pune in front of a big audience, and I said that don't become like Muslims. Make them like yourself. You are becoming like Muslims. It's a tragedy. What is our strength in this country? What makes us different from others? Why do we have democracy? Which you don't find till you read the Mediterranean Post. Because what he said is right. That this is also true, this can also be true. This also can be believed, that also can be believed. And there was Hindu relationship with his god, a deity, was not of master or slave, but of an elder who is friendly, with whom you can even joke. And I can give hundreds of examples where they had this elbow room, this liberty. As a matter of fact, this is being curbed today. This is being taken away from Hindus. And they are being made like Jews, like Muslims, like Christians. It's a tragedy. You don't understand it. And here you are, in spite of all the intellectual jargon, you are saying some temple should be returned. That is how you will move forward in life. That is the problem you have. I know.
Okay, I'm in a real...
No, just a second. So let us not bother. If there is a choice, all right. I'm telling you right here, I've said something, this thing many times. If the strictly choice between a Mu'min and kafir, there is no other third way in that sense, then I am a kafir. You happy? No, I don't bother. Why can't you believe why it doesn't suit you that I am against every religion, including yours, and including the religion in which I was born. I find it illogical. You take any belief of religion. It is absurd. It is absurd. How can a grown-up people, when you were children, you had Tooth Fairy, you had Santa Claus, you had Bhoot, there was something like Lakar Sungha in UP. Lakar Sungha used to be a man because UP, the afternoons are very warm and hot, and children used to play outside, so they had to be stopped. So they said, Lakar Sunghas come. They have a small stick in their hand, they put it under the nose of the children faint, they put them in the bag and take them away. Now when we grow up, we know there is no Lakar Sungha, we know there is no Tooth Fairy, we know that there is no ghost. But one thing is left, and that is God. God is the Santa Claus of adults. Let me complete myself. To believe any religion, whether it is Muslim, whether it is Christian, or whether it is Hindu, they believe that we had a perfect past. We were wonderful people. It's not true. People are wonderful in spite of their religion, not because of it.
Guys,
every religion discriminates. It's a lie. They are all the same. Of course, they are not the same. It is like saying all the political parties are the same. How can they be? If they are same, then there should be one. It's not possible.
But Javed Saab, sorry. Guys, I'm so sorry the organizers are going on asking me to wrap this. Makarand, I have to just, again in the interests of sticking to some of the arguments raised. You started off by praising the dharmic religion for plurality, traditions for plurality, etc., etc. But you were making a spirited defense. We've already, Javed Saab has destroyed the Muslims and Christians, so I'm not going there. I'm sticking with the Hindutva-Hinduism dichotomy. Because you said Hindutva is not asking Hindus to do Krishna Bhakti or Shaiva Bhakti or Vishnu Bhakti. But when Mahua Moitru said Kali is alcohol drinking and meat eating, people went bananas, Hold on. And secondly, that you have come up with an article where you said for Hindu-Muslim peace, we should have the Sanatani Accords. And in the Sanatani Accords, you have about a list of 12 or 13 things that Muslims should do to create peace between Hindus and Muslims. There's not even one thing that you've asked Hindus to do. And in that, you say loudspeakers, Muslims should accept loudspeakers are disruptive. We don't say that about the Kavariyas, we don't say that about the Navratris. So why would your Sanatani Accords have no clauses for Hindus, only for Muslims?
Because the Hindu part of it is yet to be written. Please, you don't get the spirit of the whole thing. See, the point is this, that whatever the pillars of Islam are, okay, they don't require loudspeakers, as he will know. We won't go into that, okay? This is all a whipping up of identity politics.
You made it part of your awards, that's why.
Yeah, so you have to start somewhere. See, I want to read you one little thing. See, first of all, I want to go back to the original question. Is religion needed? Okay? And I want to answer it by saying whatever is irrational, whatever is dogmatic, whatever is violent, and whatever is against, humanity in religion should be given up. This is what Vivekananda said in 1893. He says, let's strike the death knell of all fanaticism. Okay, so a rational approach is absolutely required. And yet, as Marx said, and as Javed Saab said, religion is an opiate. And opiate doesn't mean it's always bad, because without opium, there would be no pain killing. There would be no medication. There would be no anodyne for pain. Okay? Actually, civilization is the management of pain. And religion is one of the ways to manage pain. Lenin was much more against religion in a different way. But we won't go into that. The real point is, religion as ethics, fine. Religion as a way to order your life, dharma, okay? Like dharma, artha, kama, moksha, fine. Religion to hate other people, to divide them between believers, non-believers. Religion as a way to control other people's conduct. Religion as a way to divide men and women. If Hindu kings had invaded the Hijaz over hundreds of years, used Arab Muslim women as sex slaves, and exported thousands to India, taxed Muslims if they wished to continue practicing Islam, sacked Mecca, built a Shiva temple on the Kaaba's ruins, boasted about watering their horses at the Zamzam well, and documented all this themselves in extensive chronicles, one might expect Muslims to feel a touch of resentment. In Muslim narratives, Hindus would be cast as brutal aggressors, bent on eradicating their faith and humiliating its followers. It would be difficult, if not outrightly dishonest, to gainsay that narrative. So friends, the point I'm trying to make is Hindutva as a political movement has come out of this attempted destruction of an entire civilization. And many civilizations have been destroyed. We believe that this civilization, including its beautiful temples, okay, and also the Taj Mahal, and also the Viceregal Lodge in Shimla, where I was director, all these are monuments of what Indians have made with their sweat, toil and tears, is worth defending, is worth preserving, and is worth protecting for future generations, which include all of you. Thank you.
Okay. You have to, I'm literally the hostage.
Sure.
Stop.
No, I am as well. The fact is, now,
There would not be a single monument left. Every nose has been defaced in every museum. So, if some monuments are left, like your Elephanta Cave, Ajanta Ellora, we are very grateful, okay? You go to other parts of the world, everything is destroyed.
Yeah.
So,
Makran, I'll just stop you there. There's absolutely, the sad part is to have sessions like this where you have seeds of thoughts and you can't explore all of it is sad, because then we're not really, I wish we had a 2-3 hour session to do this, because they both have the faculty to do it. When you're bringing up temple destruction, just Makran, hold on. When you're bringing up temple destruction, there's no argument that happened. But the point is, are you going to bring that onto modern Muslims as something that they have to account for? Javed Saab wants to speak. I'm going to end it in 1 minute after that. Javed Saab, have you? Yeah. Javed Saab, have you? Makran,
no, it's not true. It's not true at all. The fact is that if they had invited anybody from RSS, he would have said the same thing what you are saying. He would have said the same thing. If you think that those traditions are wrong, I have the courage to say that if this is Islam, in any case, I am an atheist, but if the choice is between being a mu'min or a kafir, then I am a kafir. Now you say that you condemn Manu Smriti. Do you have the guts?
condemn those aspects of Manu Smriti.
No.
I have read the Manu Smriti, you haven't. I have read it. There are many beautiful things in the Manu Smriti. Many beautiful things. Even a statement.
Wow.
Wait.
Don't speak in
No,
you are doing wrong.
You read it, don't believe me.
Makran.
Satyam Vrada Apriyam Navada. Such a beautiful statement, it comes from Manu Smriti. Okay?
Makran.
Where women are respected to God's delight.
Now you are not being fair.
Can you turn down the
You
mics?
take any religious book of the world, it will give you 20 wonderful quotes. But at the same time, there are some very poisonous things in every religious book. Every religious book. They are extremely poisonous. At the same time, they have such wonderful quotes and such humanitarian attitudes and whatever, blah, blah, blah. The fact is that you are still stuck in that mindset. If somebody, don't speak in me. If some Turk, if some Iranian had come and had done that, say 500 years or 600 years ago, you remember that. But do you remember Akbar, who had translated, who got Ramayana and Mahabharata translated and sent to the rest of the world, to countries, that this is our book. Do you remember those people who you call them invaders? Mughals are a 4-letter word today. During Akbar, Shah Jahan and Jahangir, India was the richest country in the world. more than 25% of GDP of the world was in India. It is because of the plunderers. They were plunderers. Thomas Roe had come during the time of Jahangir. He was the representative of British Crown. And he wrote to it, and anybody of you who goes to England, go to India House, give £10 and they will take out the record for you. He said, wrote to the government, that you have sent me to do trade, take the permission from the king to do trade with India, but what will we tell them? They have everything. An average Indian's standard of living. 1 second. आप बहुत बात कर चुके हैं. You want me to come again for you? So you behave yourself. He said that what can we sell to them? An average Indian's standard of living is much better than an average Englishman. This man was not from Communist Party. This man was not from Congress Party. This man was not an atheist like me. He was the representative of the crown, and that is what he noticed during Jahangir's time. But for you, all of them, if you are a Muslim, you are an Indian.
No, that's...
When today what is happening, condemn it if you have the guts. Condemn what this government is doing. Do you have the guts?
I agree. I think, okay, I'm good.
I condemn what is happening. Hey!
Oh, absolutely. No, which ones? I can't just make a whole set. Do you remember?
Makran, no question here.
I'm extremely sorry, ma'am. The slaughter, 30,000 people killed in Chittor, Akbar.
I
30,000.
have to ask you to stop.
If you want to have the last word, you are talking to the wrong person.
I would dare not compete with you, Javed Saab. No competition.
One second, Makran. The good part, Makran.
I really wish we could,
Makran,
but...
you're being mildly rude right now because I'm speaking. So please hold on. The good part of being a moderator is that if the organizers allow, I will allow 2 questions, but I want to say something. I have not said anything yet. That this was meant to be a discussion about religion in our time. And it was about whether it's productive or destructive. You can see it's in many ways destructive because the moment you start discussing religion, it also goes into politics and into history. And what is really sad, speaking for myself and the fact that I'm addressing a whole audience here, one thing is true, and it's true now, sadly, he was talking about the Charvakas. The Charvakas were allowed to question. When we're talking about religion in today's time, we are not allowed to question, we are not allowed to joke, we are not allowed to have a differential thought or doubt. We are trying to be unified, whether it's Muslims trying to unify themselves or Hindutva, certainly a new phenomenon trying to unify us and call us one identity. And we are not allowed to question. As young people, it's your right to question.
Speaking of which, right to question indeed, please give these 3 wonderful people on stage a big round of applause. Did you absolutely enjoy that? Would you like to ask some questions? Okay, the questions will happen in the fan zone. Okay, so if you'd like to ask questions, that can actually be done, but that will be taken in the fan zone. I would love to, but out of
respect. You're saying outside?
In the fan zone, we want to be respectful to all speakers who come on the stage, and at the moment we are keeping the next speaker waiting, and we don't want to do that. Please, once again, give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much to all 3 of you. Thank you so much. Before you head out, if you've enjoyed it, stay right there. We want to take a picture of all of you in the crowd with our 3 wonderful guests. You can turn around. Everybody stand right there. Alright, as tradition, you can turn around. Okay, on the count of 3, everybody shout. Let's just do IMP because that's the safest thing, okay? 3, 3, 2. That's amazing. Thank you so very much.
Side. Just please one by. थोड़ा साइड हो जाओ।
Oh, तुमने मेरी जान बचा।
ज़्यादा से just one by. अरे किसी को बात करता सर क्या कहना चाहेंगे इस इवेंट में आके सर आप एक मिनट
अभी जो कहना चाहता था वो कह दिया ना सब कह दिया। आपको अभी ठहरिए, एक बात बताऊं। ये जो फ्लोर है, ये फ्लोर देख रहे हैं आप, इसे नंबर 4 बोलते हैं। ये फ्लोर पे जो पाकीज़ा का गुलाबी महल पूरा सेट था ना, जिस पे इन्हीं लोगों ने ले लेना, यहाँ शूट हुआ था। और जिस फ्लोर पे हम बात कर रहे थे, आजा आजा मैं हूँ प्यार तेरा,